BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
British military equipment has been discovered on the battlefields of Sudan, reportedly being utilized by the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, a paramilitary group that faces accusations of genocide. This revelation comes from documents that have been presented to the United Nations Security Council, raising significant concerns about the international arms trade and its impact on ongoing conflicts. Specifically, small arms target systems manufactured in the United Kingdom, along with British-made engines for armored personnel carriers, have been recovered from combat zones within Sudan, a nation currently experiencing what is described as the world's largest humanitarian catastrophe. These findings have reignited scrutiny into the United Kingdom's practices regarding the export of arms, particularly to the United Arab Emirates, or UAE. The UAE has been repeatedly accused of supplying weaponry to the RSF in Sudan, and the presence of British-made components within these supplies suggests a potential indirect involvement in fueling the devastating conflict. The situation also casts a spotlight on the UK government's own role in the effectiveness of its export control policies. It has emerged that months after the UN Security Council first received information suggesting the UAE might have supplied British-made items to the RSF, new data indicates that the UK government subsequently approved further exports of military equipment of a similar nature to the Gulf state. This includes British engines specifically designed for a type of UAE-manufactured armored personnel carrier, vehicles that have previously been documented as being used in Libya and Yemen, in direct contravention of UN arms embargoes. The UAE has consistently denied any allegations of providing military support to the RSF. The war in Sudan, now in its third year, has resulted in the tragic loss of at least 150,000 lives. More than 12 million people have been displaced from their homes, and nearly 25 million are facing acute hunger. Both sides in this brutal conflict stand accused of war crimes and the deliberate targeting of civilians. The UK military equipment found in Sudan is detailed in two dossiers, dated June 2024 and March 2025, which have been reviewed by the Security Council. Both dossiers were compiled by the Sudanese military, presenting what they claim to be detailed evidence of UAE support for the RSF. The information that the UK continued to supply military equipment to the UAE, despite the clear risk that it could be diverted to fuel Sudan's devastating conflict, has generated profound concern among experts and observers. Mike Lewis, a researcher and former member of the UN panel of experts on Sudan, has emphasized that UK and international treaty law explicitly obliges the government to refrain from authorizing arms exports where there is a clear risk of diversion or use in international crimes. He points to the detailed documentation by Security Council investigators of the UAE's decade-long history of diverting arms to countries under embargo and to forces violating international humanitarian law. Lewis argues that even before this latest information about British-made equipment surfacing in Sudan, such export licenses should never have been issued, particularly given the UAE's role in arming parties to the Sudan conflict. Abdallah Idris Abugarda, chair of the UK-based Darfur Diaspora Association, which represents Sudanese individuals from the western region of Darfur, has called for an immediate and thorough investigation into this matter. He stressed the urgent need for the international community, including the UK, to investigate precisely how this transfer of equipment occurred and to ensure that no British technology or weaponry contributes to the immense suffering of innocent Sudanese civilians. Abugarda highlighted the critical importance of accountability and stringent end-use monitoring mechanisms to prevent any further complicity in these grave crimes. Images contained within the two dossiers presented to the Security Council, of which the UK is a permanent member, suggest that British-made small arms target devices were recovered from former RSF sites in Sudan's capital, Khartoum, and its twin city, Omdurman. While precise verification can be challenging without detailed metadata or geolocation information, several photographs are reportedly marked with labels indicating they were manufactured by Militia, a company based in Mid Glamorgan, Wales. specializing in small arms training and target systems. Available databases indicate that the UK government has granted numerous export licenses to Militia for items destined for the UAE, with records dating back as far as 2013. Furthermore, new information reveals that between January 2015 and September 2024, the UK government issued a substantial 26 licenses for the permanent export to the UAE of military training devices classified under the ML14 category, a classification that encompasses Militech's product range. These licenses were distributed among 14 different companies, including Militech itself. However, the government has declined to disclose which specific licenses were granted to which companies. Significantly, these licenses indicate that on September 27, 2024, a mere 3 months after the UN Security Council received photographic evidence allegedly showing ML14 rated small arms equipment in Sudan, the UK government issued an open individual export license for the same category of products to the UAE. Such open licenses permit unlimited quantities of equipment to be exported over the agreement's duration, but crucially, they do not require monitoring of the ultimate destination of these items by September 2024. Concerns were already mounting about the UAE's role in arming Sudan's RSF. 9 months prior, in January 2024, a report from the UN panel of experts on Sudan, appointed by the Security Council to oversee Darfur's arms embargo, had already deemed claims that the Emirates were supplying weapons to the RSF to be credible. Years earlier, the UK government had also received evidence suggesting that UAE-based firms could pose a diversion risk for small arms accessories. 3 years prior to the current revelations, the UK had authorized exports of British-made night vision sights to a UAE business, which were subsequently found to have been procured by Taliban fighters in Afghanistan. Militech has been contacted for comment but declined to do so. It is understood that all of the company's exports are licensed by the relevant UK authorities, and there is no indication of wrongdoing on their part. Images within the dossiers reviewed by UN diplomats reportedly show NIMR Ajban series armored personnel carriers, or APCs, which are alleged to have been captured or recovered from RSF positions. These NIMR Ajban APCs are manufactured in the UAE by the Edge Group, a major state-affiliated arms conglomerate. One photograph featured in the 2025 document displays a data plate from the engine of a NIMR APC, clearly marked Made in Great Britain by Cummins Inc. The plate indicates the engine was manufactured on June 16, 2016, by a UK subsidiary of Cummins, an American firm. By 2016, the UK government was reportedly aware that the UAE had supplied NIMR APCs to armed groups in Libya and Somalia, in direct violation of a UN arms embargo. Evidence published by the Security Council has stated that the UAE supplied armored vehicles to Zintani militias in Libya as early as 2013. It appears there is no specific UK license data indicating the export of the British-made engine for these NIMR vehicles, as they are not exclusively designed for military equipment and thus do not always require a special export license. A spokesperson for Cummins stated that the company maintains a strong compliance culture, guided by its 10 ethical principles outlined in its Code of Business Conduct. This code explicitly addresses adherence to applicable sanctions and export controls in all jurisdictions where Cummins operates, often exceeding legal requirements. Cummins also has a firm policy against participating in any transactions, direct or indirect, with destinations subject to arms embargoes unless full and complete authorization is obtained from the relevant governmental authorities. The spokesperson further elaborated that Cummins has a rigorous process for reviewing all defense-related transactions to assess legal and policy considerations. And under this program, export licenses have been regularly obtained where legally mandated, along with the implementation of other compliance measures. Specifically regarding Sudan, a review of all past transactions by Cummins did not identify any military transactions where Sudan was designated as the end-use destination. A spokesperson for Britain's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office asserted that the UK possesses one of the world's most robust and transparent export control regimes. They stated that all export licenses are subject to rigorous assessment regarding the risk of diversion to an undesirable end-user or end-use. The FCDO also expressed the expectation that all countries will uphold their obligations under existing UN sanctions regimes. Sources familiar with the matter indicated that licensing decisions are made on a case-by-case basis, and that the UK is cognizant of the potential risk of diversion to the conflict in Sudan, with export licenses, including those to the UAE, being regularly refused. The UAE has declined to provide any comment on these developments.